at brunch.
Let me add a little bit of spice.
Now to the week to come. First and foremost, this is the league table. The Saints now at the top with 10. Also the Dragons, they collide. We'll be discussing that in a few moments' time. Then it's the Wolves, Warriors, Robins, Rhinos and the Red Devils all on 8. Couldn't be tighter there. And of course at the bottom still with no points is the Tigers and the Broncos. That is basically where we're at. Let's take a look at the prediction lead, and it gives me no pleasure at all to show you this one. Gary Schofield got 5 perfect, 5 out of 6 spot on last week, and he races back to the top of the charts with 104, overtaking myself. Myself and Joel now level on 98 apiece. Steph up to 92, Greg 91. The fans forum having an absolute shocker this year. Who'd have thought 2 years ago the fans forum took the glory? Right, now we go forward to round number 7. This is how it's all going to pan out this weekend. The Leopards go up against the Warriors. The Robins take on the Broncos. Castleford Tigers welcome the Salford Red Devils. The Rhinos and the Wolves go head-to-head. FC welcome the Huddersfield Giants. And the Dragons take on the Saints. That is where we are. Let's start off with a big one on Thursday. This is it. It's Lee Leopards taking on the Wigan Warriors, last year's grand final winners and League Leaders Shield winners, going up against the Challenge Cup holders and, of course, the team that finished 5th last year. They faced each other 3 times last year, and all 3 went the way of the Warriors, with the exception of round 27. That was a really, really close game. Remember the controversy in round number 27? There was a lot of that in that game. Go back and check out the highlights if you've forgotten. Oh, there was loads of good stuff in that game in terms of dodgy calls. But Wigan won it 10 points to 6. As you can see, Wigan 4th at the moment, Lee and 9th. 13-5, the Leopards. 3-10 on are the Warriors. As you can see, Lee there, not in the greatest of form. Wigan having lost against Saints in their last game. I picked out players to watch. Matt Moylan, I'm sure Steph will talk about him in a moment. Matt Moylan at the moment, he's growing week on week. He's becoming a real quality acquisition there for the Lee Leopards. And I picked out Jai Field, not because he's in great form, but at some point he's got to wake up, because at the moment we haven't seen it. Is this the game that Jai Field wakes up? Now, Ricky Latelli and Frankie Holton should return, we're hoping, for Lee. No new injury concerns, Steph. I'll be interested to know if that is the case or not. And Wigan as well, no new injury concerns, but of course Byrne and Dupree will be out of this game. As always, I'll come to you last because it's your team. Greg, I'll come to you. Lee Leopards, Wigan. Both are missing some big forwards. That is a level of that Byrne and Dupree in that front row is not going to be there.
It'll certainly make things interesting.
Yeah.
I still think Wigan will have too much. Unfortunately, sorry, Steph. You might be pleased I'm saying that. I don't know. The Leeds fans are like that now. I think Wigan will be smart. I think both sides will be smarting, but Wigan especially will be smarting at the way they let that Saints game slip in the last 10 minutes or so. And I'm going for Wigan by 18 plus, unfortunately. Steph, sorry about that.
Oh, I'm overjoyed with that, Reggie.
I think for me, Latelli coming back will be massive. I think they really missed him last week at Salford. Big game for Robbie Mulhern. This unfortunately, Robbie's having to do a lot of the heavy lifting at the moment, and he's going to be pivotal in this game, I think. And I think Brad Dwyer's got to keep his head as well. Brad at times tries to do it himself. You can't afford to have players trying to win it alone against a team like the Wigan Warriors. So I think Brad Dwyer at hooker has got to play the team game in this one. Lot of expectation on Robbie Mulhern's shoulders in terms of taking it to that Wigan front line, Thompson and co, going into this. But do you know what? They stand a chance early. I mean, they really do. I mean, when you look at it, they've still got quality. The halfbacks are quality. You know, Latelli back in the back line. Hanley, let's be honest, probably the form leader at the moment. I mean, people will be saying, how was he not in the team of the month? Because he didn't play all the games. Had he played all the games, he probably would have been. But he didn't play all the games. It's simple as that. But Hanley, outstanding at the moment for Lee. O'Brien back as well. O'Brien will be playing in this one, Steph. So they've got the team. They have got the team. They certainly won't need any motivation. Battle of the Borough and all that. Over to you, Steph.
It's definitely going to have an impact with those two players for Wigan. It kind of neutralises us not having a moan a little bit. I do still feel like we to beat Wigan, you need to be full strength pretty much. We've not got the biggest squad. Dan Norman's done a job for us, but he's not Tom Amone. And it's a lot of our play last season was built off that our pack was amazing, and we battered teams down the middle, which give the backs the chance to perform. But I think it's like I said on the Final Whistle podcast, I think people are overlooking Lee's attacker a bit at the moment. And to score those 4 tries against Salford, they were all really nice on the eye tries. It's not barging over from an inter-round kind of thing. So the quality is still there, and having Holton coming back and Littell is massive for us in this game. Hopefully we get a better ref than we did in that last season game. But to be fair, the refs have been fine in the last few weeks. We've not really mentioned them. I think they're doing a good job at the moment. So hopefully that continues, because no doubt Lee will be going all guns blazing to try and prove a point this week.
Yeah. Well, I think, we want the match review panel to take a leaf out of the refs' books and up the game, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, we didn't mention it before, but I think it's time to say goodbye to the MVP. It's time for the rugby league to realise that they're not doing the game any favours.
You can just see Greg with his big placard MVP out at the Etihad Stadium. Go and join him in protest. But anyway, right. So, Steph, where are you going, mate? Where are you going with this one?
It's hard not to look at Wigan in it, but I'm going to go Lee 1-8 just for comedy factor.
Do you know what? I love the fact that you've been going against your team against lesser opposition all season, and you come up against the World Club champions. You go, this is the one we'll win. Absolutely outstanding.
I wouldn't be able to walk through Lee Town Centre if I went against Lee on this one. So,
whereas I can hold my head up high in Lee Town Centre, having backed against you.
We're building a statue, Reggie, as we speak for that one, I think.
999 call goes in. There's a man with a bad bat that's just been launched into the back of a boot. Never to be seen again in the Borough League. Oh, outstanding. Right, let's go for it. Gary Schofield, he sees it Wigan 9-17. I see it Wigan 9-17. It's hard not to. Greg's going big, 18 plus. That's big. He could be right, but it's big. Joel going Wigan 9-17. The fans form agree with Greg. They've got 18 plus Wigan as well.
That's us two. Joint battle.
That's what I'm saying. Based on the fact that fans form have only scored 80 points this year, and Greg's great at predicting. Actually, this bodes well for you, actually, Steph.
I need it, because look, I have got above Reggie this week, which we overlooked on the thing there. So that was my big jump this week. So I have been tactical in trying to get some points, but that'll probably backfire on me massively.
Possibly. And Steph there going 1-8. The Lee Leopards. It should be. Let's hope it's a good game. Like I say, it is a bit of a leveler. I thought Lehman was shocking as well. No, I think he only was on the field for about 5 minutes and he got hooked off. He was Lehman. Wow. I mean, wow. He needs to bounce back from that as well. Looking forward to it though. Thursday night launches round number 7. I think if it was both fully fit, I mean, this would have been out again. You'd be really rubbing your hands. But do you know what? With the narrative, Field's not in form. He's not at the moment. I think you've got enough quality in the centre. It could be interesting. Don't count Leo.
Should be a sellout as well, which is phenomenal for a Thursday night game, especially. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, let's hope so. I'm looking forward to it. I'll be tuning in. Right, let's move over to the jungle. Let's get into this one, he says. Oh, where is it? Is it coming?
Yeah,
here we go. Here it comes. Right, so there you go. So we go to the jungle. Castleford Tigers against the Salford Red Devils. No New injury concerns for Castleford. That's good news. Nemo 50-50, probably unlikely to play though. I think they'll probably give him a shot in the reserves. Thought he was very poor on his debut. Craig Lingard said as such as well. Felt he was a little bit rusty, needed game time. So maybe Nemo will turn out for the reserves as opposed to be launched into this one. As for the Red Devils, still no Singleton, Hankinson or Sidlow. Everybody else seems to be in fine fettle. Tigers, of course, not won a game all season. This is interesting. Current league position is the same league position as they were in last year. That's an interesting one. As you can see, Salford did the double last season and at the Jungle won 42-10 in round 15. That doesn't bode well for the Castleford Tigers. 1-3 on, 5-2. The Tigers. Players to watch, but it had to be Ryan Briley. He blew Lee away in that first half. Talk about Evans' first half display. Briley against Lee was simply outstanding. And Paul McShane, and I think, if Castleford are going to, they've been relying very much on Westham, and McShane is in the same mould for me. Mr. Castleford, he's going to put a big shift in. I think Paul McShane, if they are going to get a win, I think he will be pivotal in that game. So I'll put Paul McShane in there. I think it's a big game for him. Steph, we'll start with you on this one. Castleford against Salford, Friday night. Can Castleford get the first win of the season?
No.
Thanks for playing.
No, Salford. Having seen them this week, live, they're outstanding at the moment, and I don't think there's any fresh injury concerns. They didn't get any bans, did they?
No.
It was quite that was a good thing. But it was quite a well-disciplined game from both sides of the Lee Salford match. So them going there full strength, pretty much. I can't see anything other than another, heavy defeat for Castleford. So I've got an 18+. I think Salford.
You have indeed, Greg. Salford Cass.
Yeah, yes, Steph. Is this the game that Castleford finally break the hoodoo and win a game? No. They could, and they could take heart from that first half performance against Leeds. I think that's probably the best 40 minutes.
I think the weather in that one was the biggest leveler, weren't it? And
but I think they'll take heart from it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
The weather's not looking great this week either. I just don't think. I think Salford have got too much for them. I'm going 9-17 Salford. I must admit, I'm not going the 18+.
You are, yeah.
I'm going 9-17 Salford. I think Castleford will look to kind of match the intensity of that first half against Leeds, but Salford will just have a bit too much for them.
I can't disagree with that. If I'm being honest, I think it's going to be a very interesting game. This one between these two. I think the big concern for me in this one is the fact that they've as well. We've seen patches from Castleford this season where they've had a bit of, Warrington in the first 10 or 15 minutes, they had a go, they've had little patches in games, but actually the fitness levels in that, especially in the second half, that's also got to be a concern for Lingard and co. Schofield, he's gone Salford 9-17 alongside Greg. I have gone 18+, as has the fans Forum and Joel. We're all expecting a pretty comfortable win in this one for the Salford Red Devils. Hard to not really see. I think
it's interesting. The Rowan Smith comment where he wasn't concerned at half time, and I was watching it the same because I always thought Castleford came out and tried to blow Leeds away, and when you do that, unless you are super fit, it's always going to come and backfire. But I think the other crucial point and the reason why I went 18+ is because when Salford score, it's 6 points, not 4. It's guaranteed, pretty much. It's 6 points.
There goes Max. These chances of the Red.
But it is though, isn't it? And that's the diff. That it was in the Lee Salford game. It was 5 tries to 4, but it was 10 points because our goal kicker wasn't anywhere near as good as Sneed. So that's massive to have a consistent kicker.
Steph, I'll tell you now, if he misses a kick this weekend, I'm going to get that little snippet and I'm going to send it to him on social media. Yeah, man. There you go. Let's not forget as well, these two did, of course, meet in round number 2 in a really tight game, 26-22, at the Salford Community Stadium. So that bodes a little bit well for Castleford, but I do think at the moment there's a gulf in form between these two sides. Right, we now go across to Craven Park. Guys, I've not seen anything like this. that in terms of to win in 80 minutes, Betfred are not even giving you any odds for that. A 39.5 lead for KR gets you 8-5. I've never seen anything like. I don't know. I don't know why that is. I just think, and that is, we've not seen anything like that all season. But for some unbeknown reason, that's what Betfred are saying. So I mean, it really is. If you're a London Broncos player, ouch! It's all I would say. Stay away from Betfred in regards to that. I mean, obviously, at the moment, these two teams couldn't be at more opposite ends of the spectrum. Players to watch now levels. I like Ollie Leyland. I do. He's low centre of gravity. I think he's really going to benefit from this Super League campaign. Ollie Leyland. Walker's another one. James Meadows is another. But there's certain players in that London side that are going to put themselves in the shop window for a contract somewhere else next season. Oliver Gildart should return from HIA. However, again, going back to player welfare, based on the fact they are playing London, don't be surprised if Gildart is left out of this and they leave Opachik in there. Because me, I don't see... if it was a big game coming up for KR and Gildart has gone through protocol, do you know what? I sort of see it. No disrespect, London. They've got great cover in Opachik. Why would you put Gildart on the field against London? Let him have another week is what I would say. But hey, I'm not Willie Peters. Of course, still no, he's out until round 10. But good news for London. No new injury concerns is what we're hearing for the London Broncos. So that's good news. Mike Eccles is your mate. I'll come to you first then, Steph. In terms of those odds, I think that's a bit cruel on London. I don't see that.
Well, I mean, they're never far off, are they, the bookies? Very rare. They put in good shifts. They've not been bad for London, I don't think. They've been okay to watch. Like, I enjoyed watching the Huddersfield game. I think you're absolutely right. Ollie Leyland, for me, is a very good player, and in a good team, he could really shine. I hope there's a few Super League clubs looking at him for next season.
I'll just interject. There's one thing that I would criticise Leyland for. He keeps jumping out the defensive line. He needs to sort that out.
But you can coach that out, can't you? It's one of them, and it's that in a better side as well. He's probably not having to do as much where he thinks because he's a real leader for me on that team along with Meadows. Yeah. But yeah, he's harsh, but probably fair, I'd say, in terms of you're going up against one of the best teams in Super League at the moment at home. I can see it being a cricket score, but I hope it's not. I hope London do well, but it's the travel as well, isn't it? Yeah. I don't know if they're going up the day before, but that's a trek going to Hull from London. Yeah, no, absolutely, Greg.
Especially that side.
You're going 18 plus then, there, Steph. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I presume you're the same, Greg.
Well, London did all right against Huddersfield this weekend. I thought the first half, especially, I think that's been the story of them most of the season. First half, they've been all right. They've kind of been okay, and then second half, fitness, and experience has gone.
They missed Maludi at the weekend massively.
Yeah, they did. But Huddersfield didn't run away with it. I think that'll give them confidence. So Hull KR 18 plus.
Yeah, and in the interest of time, everybody's gone Hull KR 18 plus. And you know what? Yeah, KR at home, top four side. They've been in reasonable form this season. They've had a couple of ups and downs, but they're in reasonable form. Yeah, I mean, it's not an easy assignment that for Mr. Eccles and his side. No. We wish them well, of course, but I do think it's going to be interesting. Right, let's just pause for a second. Bit of Super League Raw news. Of course, don't forget, you non-members out there, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, the Barry McDermott In Conversation goes live on YouTube and across our podcasts on Spotify, Amazon and Apple. Make sure you catch that interview with Barry Mack. It's a real good one. I've already got a few people making comment behind the scenes with regards to that one. More to be announced. We've got plenty lined up. We've just not recorded them yet. But once they start coming, they're going to really start coming again. So more news to follow in terms of In Conversations that are on the way. And of course, I also said that this is on the way. 15th of April. We're not far away now. Just a couple of weeks. The Super League Raw quiz night. Do you know your rugby league? We're all set for that one. It's going to be a great night, 7:30 p.m, Monday the 15th of April. We do want you to join us. We are limited to 95. Keep your eye out on Facebook this week. Make sure, if you're not a member of our Facebook community, make sure that you are. If you're listening to this, go and find us on Facebook. Just put in Super League Raw. You will find us. The badge is very easy to identify. We will be putting the tickets on this week. It is a ticket job. They are free. You're not being charged, but you have to actually say that you're coming. So that is going to be on our Facebook page at some point during this week. Of course, the members, you will be sent prior notice of that so that you can book your tickets first, as you would expect, being a member. And then, of course, they will be posted on our Facebook page for everybody else to sign up to. So if you're a member, don't panic. You will get at least a 24, 48-hour period of grace to book your tickets first. Right. Should be a great night, boys. I have to say, the quiz is done. It's a good one. It's going to be a right good giggle. It's going to be a right good giggle. You've got to know your rugby league, but it's going to be a really, really good interactive quiz. And like I say, it's interactive. You'll be playing off your phones, guys, watching a leaderboard on your screen. Of course, I'll be on the screen. We've got videos. We've got music. We've got everything. It's going to be a cracker. It's going to be a really, really good one. So make sure you join us for that. Right, let's get back to building up round number 7. The Leeds Rhinos taking on the Warrington Wolves. Last year, 6th and 8th. This year, 3rd and 6th. Outstanding. Both teams improved thus far this season. Last season, of course, Warrington got off to a flyer, 42 points to 10 win over the Leeds Rhinos. But then after that, it was all Rhinos, a 22-6 win at the HJ in round 17. And then in round 22, a real nail-biter, 24-22. Warrington that day really did. He felt that was a good game, actually. A really good game at Headingley in round 22 last year. Odds 6-5, the Leeds Rhinos, 8-11 on Warrington. That's a surprise, I have to say. I thought the home advantage, the bookies that have seen it more Leeds, but maybe the league position has given has swayed them towards Warrington. I'm a bit surprised about that, I have to say. Current form, very, very, Warrington in slightly better form, but Leeds are doing well. We've got to remember that loss was St. Helens a couple of games back, so there's nothing to be embarrassed about there. Lockie Miller in great form, and I think George Williams coming back is massive for the Warrington Wolves. Massive. I mean, we saw that glimpse against Catalan. Outstanding try. Both teams have got a few issues. Sangari is out, as is Cameron Smith. That's a blow. Cam Smith out. Both of them are banned for this game. Bentley as well out, HIA. Newman and Holroyd, though, should return for the Rhinos. Warrington as well are going to have to do it tough up front. No Philbin or Musgrove. They failed HIAs. And, of course, Paul Vaughan has picked up his ban. They said Drinkwater's 50-50. Drinkwater's, I don't think, is getting back in that Warrington time anytime soon, the way Leon Hayes is playing. Greg, I'll come to you last. I'll start with you, Steph. Leeds Warrington should be a belter.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this, and the bookies odds might change after they see my prediction on this one based on my weekend of betting. But no, I think it should be an absolute belt. I'm really looking forward to seeing this. Is it Friday night?
Friday, yeah. Friday night. It's the game of Friday night. The other two, this is the game.
Yeah, I'm gutted about Paul Vaughan's ridiculous ban, and I know we didn't cover that earlier on, but I'm going to mention it now so we can think it. But I think when you compare that to what Harry Smith did and got away with early in the season, I know they'll say that Hooley was mitigating factors in it. That was worse for me than what the Vaughan one did. So for Vaughan to get a ban is just absolutely crazy. And I hope Warrington do appeal it and use that as an example of why he shouldn't be getting a ban. But
will it be a frivolous appeal?
Well, this is the thing. I think they should do, just on principle. They should appeal it. But obviously, it comes with the risk if they do that. But he's a massive player for Warrington. He's head and shoulders above anybody else in terms of his meter making, not only from Warrington's side but in Super League in general. So it is a big loss. But I do think Bentley being out for Leeds is massive. Who else was out for them?
Sangari and Cam Smith.
Cam Smith is huge loss. So when I've heard the announcement about Vaughan being out, I thought, oh, that's my prediction out the window because I'm backing Warrington in this game. But I do think the loss of Bentley and Cam Smith is massive for Leeds. So I'm going to stick with my prediction, and I'm going Warrington 9-17.
You are indeed. Greg, over to you.
Yeah, I mean, I echo what Steph said about the Vaughan ban. I think we need our best players on the pitch if they're fit and available week in, week out to keep people coming into the stadiums. Cam Smith, Vaughan, we need these players on the pitch. So, anyway, we've done that to death. I think we got quite a good record at Headingley. If we don't win, we don't lose by a lot usually. But I don't know. I get a nasty feeling about this one. I've predicted Leeds 9-17. I'm sticking with that prediction. I think Croft is coming back into form, which is an important thing. I think Williams is probably still feeling his ankle a little bit. We had glimpses of him. Personally, I might have kept Williams out of it last weekend and persevered with Ratchford in the halves with Hayes, purely for the goal kicking point of view. So, yeah, I'm going Leeds 9-17.
Fair enough. No surprises. Guess who Gary Schofield's going for?
Warrington by any chance?
No, it's Leeds 1-8. He's that game. Joel, he sees it Wire 1-8. The fans forum see it Leeds 1-8. I see it Wire 1-8. So it's a pretty big split there, which bodes well. It bodes well. When we see a split like that, and we're all not sure which way it's going to go, it bodes well for a great game of rugby league. That's the pick of the games, I think, on Friday. I think that will get the most viewing figures. It probably is the main eventer as well. So, yeah, Warrington against Leeds Friday night. Make sure you tune in to that one. Right, we now go over to the game at the MKM Stadium. This is going to be interesting. Hull FC in shocking form, has to be said. They're going up against the Giants, who, let's be fair, if Hull are going to take a win, nobody would be surprised if it was against the Giants, because you just don't know what you're getting with the Giants. Last year, 10th and 9th is where they finished. As you can see, look at that. I mean, the big one is that Challenge Cup 6 round this year. 50 points to 6. The John Smiths. That's a massive difference between the two sides. But it will put a bit of fuel, maybe, like we saw with KR. KR did a number on Hull FC, and fair play, they came out in the second half and didn't make it embarrassing for themselves. This is another opportunity for him to put maybe a few scores right in this. But there's no doubt the Giants, as you can see there, with the exception of round number 10 last year, it's 3 from 3 from the Huddersfield Giants against the Hull FC. 8 takes on 10. The bookies see it 1-4 on the way of the Giants. And there they are, the players to watch. Greg, I'm going to come to you first. Tui Lolohea, that's a no-brainer based on his performance against London. But young Jack Charles, have we just seen a young man take his chance? Is he now a case of he has to play?
Well, you'd like to think he did enough to keep his place. I thought he was superb when he came on.
Yeah.
I don't think if it had started with him, I don't think it'd have changed the eventual outcome. But he's certainly shown signs of being a class act.
Yeah.
From what he showed. Yeah, you know what? What have they got to lose? What have Hull got to lose? Absolutely play from the start. Let's see what the kid can do.
I agree.
Let's see what the kid can do.
Ashworth out, just to let you know, Jack Ashworth out. He's got a thumb injury, and it's going to be a layoff, I believe. This sounds like the Matty Nicholson one that kept Nicholson out for a while. So that's a big blow, because I think Ashworth at the moment has been there for Houghton as well, not expected to play. He's got a rib injury. They're not sure how long. It could be a couple of weeks. It could be as long as 6 or 7. That's a hammer blow for him as well, Danny Houghton being out. Tyndall, 50-50 to return. And, of course, question mark over Connor from a Huddersfield perspective. No injury concerns over and above what they've already got, the likes of Chris Hill, etc. So no fresh injury concerns. But Connor, what are they going to do with him? Back to you, Greg. Where are you going with it, mate?
Like you say, I think Hull will probably fancy this one. They were a little bit embarrassing in that first half against Hull KR. Huddersfield would have been disappointed with the margin of the win against London. I think they would have expected to score more points. But I don't think it'll be the blowout. I think Huddersfield will win. Sorry, Huddersfield fans. I think 9-17, Huddersfield.
Yeah. Well, you're going the way Gary Schofield and me. I see it the same way. I see it at 9-17. Steph, over to you.
I think Ashworth and Houghton not playing in this is massive for Hull FC. They've been two of the best players that I've seen in their team this year.
Yeah.
It's great to see Charles coming in, and I hope he does get a start because I think he deserves it. And like Reggie says, what have they got to lose there at the moment? You may as well just chuck in who you can and give him see if there's somebody there who's going to give him a kick up the backside kind of thing. I think Huddersfield are going in pretty much full strength, aren't they? They've not really got, apart from the long-term injuries or whatever. Yeah. So, I mean, if you look at last season when they went there, the 52-20, I think you said on that stat.
10, wasn't it? Was it 52-10?
52-10, I think it was.
Yeah, 52-10, I think it was.
Was it?
In the Challenge Cup, 50 points to 6.
No, the main 26.
Oh,
It was 52-20,
yeah.
you're right.
Yeah, 250s, yeah. The last two games, they've done the half century, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously the Challenge Cup performance as well. So, yeah, I can't see it being any different. I think if they'd have had Houghton and Ashworth, then they could have probably think, but that's two massive players for them, both in go forward and Danny Houghton's defensive work.
Yeah.
So, I can't see it any other way than an 18-plus Huddersfield. Sorry, FC fans.
Well, the fans forum agree with you, as does Joel. So everybody going the way of Huddersfield there, but there is a divide, 9-17, 18-plus, but everybody going the way of the Huddersfield Giants. And then we come to, which will be, we haven't done the trailer yet, apologies, it will come. This is the game of the week. We put it out to a poll. This one has won. We're calling it now. It is the game of the week. You can't argue. It's second against first. Last year, second against third. Look at that there. Look at that there. 3 from 3, the Catalan Dragons against the Saints. Absolutely exceptional performances last year. Who can forget, of course, the big semi-final and the win, the Tompkins try, of course. That will still be smarting the Saints players, we would have thought, in this one. Game odds, 8-11, home advantage going the way of the Dragons, 6-5, the Saints. Saints. Big win off the back of Wigan, so they'll go into this with a load of confidence. Abdul and Dodd. I picked Dodd. Dodd has improved. I mean, Dodd has improved this season. We know Abdul's kicking game. In these type of tight games, kicking games more often than not make a huge difference to the outcome of the match. Dodd's shown glimpses this year that he can do that. He can manage a game. We know Abdul can. And I think it's going to be another game like we saw at the weekend where no quarter is going to be given in this. This is going to be a right battle, possibly a dry track, which is going to be interesting to see Saints on a dry track, probably for the first time this season. But yeah, I mean, what a game! I mean, do you know what? It is prime time. This is prime time. Yeah, 5 past 8, 5 past 8. Absolutely, prime time telly on a Saturday night. Far better than Gladiators. Behave your flaming selves. What are you doing? Michael flipping McIntyre, do me a favour. Get yourself over to Sky Sports. This is what it's all about on a Saturday night. Oh, yeah. Chain, whoever doesn't watch Rugby League to the chair, make them watch it. You won't have to chain them next week. Oh, no. Come back willingly. Steph, over to you. Catalan Dragons against Saints.
Yeah, I'll definitely replacing the brew for a brew dog on Saturday night for that one. No, it's again a bit like the Leeds Warrington game. I'm really looking forward to this. It's going to be an absolute belter. And Catalan been away for the last 2 games with the Challenge Cup and the weekend. So obviously returning home, after 2. Good wins. Their fans are going to come out in numbers. I can see this one potentially selling out over in Perpignan as well. Yeah. Be interested to see how many Saints fans are going over in April. But I hope they are winning numbers. Yeah, it is Easter.
Yeah, going in its favour, really. People might be off work.
Hopefully. I hope they go there in numbers because you always want some decent away support just for the atmosphere. Yeah. It's on paper it's going to be an absolute bell ringer, isn't it? A bit like the Wigan game with Saints. Hopefully, it's the same standard. Which, given the way both teams have been playing, I can't see why it wouldn't be. So yeah, it should be an absolute classic. But I just I'm going to give it to Catalan. I think they're playing some superb rugby at the moment, and I think being at home will be the biggest advantage for them here with a vociferous crowd behind them. I'm sure the flares will be going off and all sorts before the game as they have been doing for the past few ones. Yeah. But I'm going for a bit of a big margin here. Actually, I've gone 9-17 Catalan. I think people probably see it a bit closer than that, but I'm trying to get myself up them league tables with
fans forum, don't mate? They're with you. They do see it as 9-17. Arthur Morg, could return, albeit, let's be fair, Cesar Rouge, he's going to take some shifting. He had a cracking game against the Wire.
Like a fine wine.
But yeah, Saints, though, Lee's out, Percival out, but Mr. James Bell, Greg, is back. That could be huge for the Saints.
Yeah, he's the guy we've picked up on all season. I think he's been the difference in a lot of games, as you two guys have agreed.
Yeah,
I'm glad to see him back.
Yeah, me too.
What a shock he was suspended against Wigan, but I think Saints are going to win this. I think Saints are going to win 9-17. I think Catalan looked good in patches against us. Obviously, they had the first 10 or 15 minutes where they blew us away.
Yeah.
And the thing with Catalan is they've got a big pack, but it tends to tire quite quickly. So you see teams coming back at them at the end of the halves, as we did. They scored a late try from an American football type pass, but it's not to say any more on that. But yeah, I think Saints can weather that pounding from the Catalan pack. If any pack can, the Saints pack can, and I think that they're going to win 9-17 Saints.
Right. Okay. So you agree with Gary Schofield? He's gone the same way. He's gone Saints 9-17. Joel's gone Saints 1-8. I've gone Catalan 1-8. So real difference again. 2 9-17s for either side and a 1-8 for either side. So again, we're completely split on that. And again, it just bodes brilliantly well for what should be an exceptional game of rugby league on Saturday night. Oh, guys, what a treat. I mean, they're just coming thick and fast, these games. And it's just wonderful this season to be able to watch them all. I think the League game on Thursday, great way to open the round. I think the Warrington Leeds game should be really good sport on Friday. And then, of course, the Cats Saints games. And, of course, we'll still watch the others. Of course we will. But those are the three. There's no doubt those three games this weekend. Let's hope they're as exciting as we've teed them up.
Do you think, just as a bit of an off the cuff, quite be interesting what the fans think about this, but do you think this could be a record attendance for the round? Because when you look at it, we've got Lee potentially selling out, Catalan will probably sell out, Hull KR have always got massive crowds.
KR will do 11. I think they'll probably do 10, maybe 10.
Warrington fans will travel in numbers to Headingley, so that should be a massive crowd. And then Hull FC, you've got 10,000 on, even though they think it. So it's.